Yo, what's up, dogs? I am back once again with another movie review, and today we are going to be discussing the good, the bad, and the silly with a little film called The Running Man. And I'm going to try my best not to compare this too much to the original classic Arnold Schwarzenegger Running Man. It's going to be hard not to, but I might slip up a couple times and talk about it. But in general, this was part of the doubleheader that we did. We saw the Predator first, then we came into the Running Man. So I'm already coming off a really good high of the Predator movie. So going into the Running Man, I'm already like buzzing. You know what I'm saying? So my opinions in this review might be a little skewed because of how hyped I was after watching the Predator. Okay, and going into this movie, I was optimistic about it because I did hear some rumblings and some musings on the Twitter and the Instagram about the film, and I was kind of like, oh, we're going to get something a little weird here. And genuinely, I think I can say that I did like the movie and I was entertained when I was watching this movie, but there is some criticisms in the movie that initially didn't take me out of the film too much where I was like, this movie sucks. Why am I watching it? You know what I'm saying? But I also feel like there's things in this movie that they had tried and I wish they did better at as well. So let's get into the good to start. Oh, and I should also point out that I saw this movie again, small theater, like 1080p, no IMAX. I did get concessions this time because I was trying to pace myself between the two films. You know what I'm saying? And the turnout for this was also like another like 15 people, give or take, and it was around. I think we did see this at like 6 o'clock or 6:50. I think it was. So it was a later night showing, but still about maybe 10 to 15 people in total showed up for this movie. And here we are. Let's start with the good. Uh-oh. I forgot to edit this part where we follow the trials and tribulations of Deck. However, we follow the trials and tribulations of Ben Richards, who is a father. And he will do anything for his family, which is pretty much the same as Predator. It's the trials and tribulations of this dude who has to run the Running Man gauntlet to make enough money to pay for the medicine for his very sick child who's at home. And he wants to provide for his very loving family and get his wife off the club circuit, so to speak, because I don't believe she's an actual erotic dancer, but I think she works at strip clubs for money, but she's a server. So they didn't go really too into depth of it, but he really wants to be a provider of his family, and he's having a really hard time holding down work because he is a stickler, we'll say, in the cog of the working machine. But let's get into him because I also like this character, Ben Richards, who's played by Glenn Powell, because he is a blue collar, everyday man who's trying to work his 9 to 5 job. He's currently unemployed. He can't get reemployed because, as I said earlier, he's a man of the people. He wants his employees or the people around him, his coworkers, to survive a day. You know what I'm saying? Like he is a union guy, but the unions aren't that strong in this world, and he tries to hold the companies accountable for the mismanagement of his coworkers and even himself. And because of that, he is unable to hold down a job because he is more of a nuisance than anything else. And in this world, this dystopian world where like if you as soon as you step out of line you're getting thrown to the back of the line, you know what I'm saying? And they show that in this movie as well, during the sequence of when he's going to register for the network's games or game shows. When he falls out of line, it's right there, he goes right to the back of the line, right? So this world, you have to stay in line, lockstep, and stay the course, or else you're going to get reset, so to speak, and yeah, I think this character is pretty good though. There I guess you could sometimes kind of complain about the acting side of things, and like the character um is a little all over the place where he goes from being a family man, which is great. I like that part of the character, to kind of being an unhinged person, like violently unhinged. And I almost kind of want to say like yes, that would happen in this world when you're trying to survive and you're running off of adrenaline and you're seeing the truth unfold around you that maybe you would become a little unhinged and you could die at any moment. Like every minute is a one step closer to a bullet. So this character has a lot of layers, but I could also see that sometimes the layers don't really work in some of the sequences and series of events that happen in this movie. But overall, I do like Ben Richards, and I think he's okay. We'll get more into him as I talk about this film because I don't want to ruin everything, okay? I'm trying my best. But my favorite character, I actually really liked all the villains in this movie. I really liked Cole. I call him Cole Domingo. I don't know if he goes by that in real life, but Coleman Domingo as Bobby T was amazing. Every single time this dude was on screen hyping up the Running Man games and stuff, I loved it. I really did. I was just like, this guy is great. I want him in all of my movies. Every scene, man, I just love him from beginning to end. Even the end, you were like, this is one cool, badass dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one's going to mess with this guy. And I just liked him. Like, I could, I could just watch a movie about him and his day to day life in this world. Like, what is this guy all up to? I just loved him. He was great. He made the movie for me, really. Um, so the next thing, actually, I was going to point out here, I'll go back to that later. I'll mention it again. So, Katie O'Brien, I have to give her a shout out. You guys know, you got it. I got it. She's my girl. I'm a big fan of Katie. Any movie she's in, I'm seeing it. I've seen pretty much every movie she's done so far. She plays Jenny Laughlin, and I'll be honest here. In this movie, I was expecting more from her character. I thought like what we saw of her, fine, right? Fun, a couple little laughable scenes, but really underdeveloped, especially during the training montage sequence about which game they're going to be put into. Underdeveloped there and underdeveloped in the actual Running Man game itself because we don't actually get to follow her along as much. And the way she dies in this movie, sorry, spoiler, you already know we're spoiling things, but the way she dies in this movie, I honestly thought it didn't happen. I thought it was going to be a lie, and I thought it was going to be like the first instance of when we find out that the network is actually lying to the people about the actual games and the outcome of the games. And I was also expecting for Ben Richards to find her in the Running Man during his sequence of runs and team up with her and maybe fight to live another day. But they don't really do that in this one because the Running Man itself is not confined to like a hockey arena or sorry like an arena kind of like the original movies. It's very confined in a game show type of setting and a certain place. This is open world, so to speak, anywhere in America. Because I believe Ben Richards like goes from I want to say I can't remember where the movie starts, but he goes to like I think it's like Capital City or something like that. Then he like drives off to Boston on a bus, and then he's like working his way up to Canada. So it's very open world, and anyone can cap you, so to speak. But I think the civilians can only capture you via like the phone and like alert the presence of where the Running Man is, and then the hunters will come down and kill you, and the civilians get bonus money for doing it for participating. So the whole world is very dangerous, and I was kind of just expecting to see Jenny and Ben team up eventually to finish out the rest of the movie. I thought she was going to have a bigger role in this movie, but still, I just put her in the good because I'm a Katie O'Brien fan. And yeah, I could have put her in the bad because of the character, but whatever. It's Katie O'Brien. I was happy to see her on the screen. Okay, so the next good, this dude Daniel Ezra, who plays Bradley. I love this character as well. Okay, he saves Ben in Boston, I believe, with his little brother. And they take him to his house, and this is where Bradley introduces himself to Ben as this anti-network activist who makes like let's just say he makes YouTube videos of activism against the network, and they're great videos, right? And they're all breaking down about how the network isn't telling the truth, how they manipulate the truth, um, And what else does he do with it? Like, it's just a bunch of stuff about like what the network is feeding you is nothing but lies. And he's also a part of an activism network, and I'll talk about that with another character later. And that's what Ben is trying to kind of use to navigate his way safely to Canada. Even though I don't think if he gets to Canada it's safe as well. They didn't really explain that. If he goes somewhere, he like the rules are you have to last 30 days and you get paid $1 billion or whatever, right? And every day you last, you get more money, and that goes towards his wife, who's put in a safe place for protection because now she's going to be a millionaire for every day he pretty much lives, and that happens. But they never really made anything clear about what goes on if you go to Canada, right? So yeah, he's that's what he's kind of doing though. He's working his way up to Canada. But the Bradley character helps him escape Boston, and it's a pretty good car chase scene. It could be a little bit better. I'll mention that in the bad. There's we'll get to it. We'll get to that. But in general, I like this character, and he makes another appearance at the end of the movie too, which I liked. Because I just liked his activism like YouTube page that he made and the videos that he makes are really well done. It's probably next to next to Domingo. This is probably the my like next favorite character in the whole movie because I just like what he was doing, and again, I would like more of that character as well. Just I just liked him a lot. So the next character I liked is actually Josh Brolin's character as Dan Killian, and Dan Killian comes across as a complete asshole, like a high level scumball, scumbag, and he is manipulating everybody. He's pulling the strings and he's making all the videos. He's like, he is lying all the time. He's never telling the truth. He's using his manipulation like all the time, man. And like, he's so good at it. Like, you really hate this dude. You really want to punch him in the face. And you kind of feel for Ben Richards whenever he goes off. Like, he wants to kill Killian. Like, he's like, I'm going to kill you. You like, it's interesting the development of Ben Richards or Ben Richards. I just made me think of Reed Richards there for a second there. I was just like, wait a minute, this is the Fantastic Four. Um, but yeah, you could really see his motivation of wanting to win the the Hunger Games. There's a new trailer for that I just saw. I gotta get around to that. The winning the Running Man and destroying Dan Killian and all that, like destroying the network and stuff. And you see the progression because he doesn't really care about the network and what they do because his main drive and goal is to make the money for his family to give his kid a better chance at living, right? And as his trials and tribulations, that he meets these other people like Bradley, where he sees the slums of Boston and how these families are barely surviving too, and he's learning the truth about the television network and what their lies are manipulating everybody else. And he's also learning about the social divide between the haves and the have-nots, and how the haves don't even know what's going on with the have-nots, and they don't really care because they don't know, and everything that's being fed to them is just all manipulation and lies. And Ben is learning this stuff, and he's learning that Dan Killian is the mastermind behind all of this. And through the series of events that happen to Ben, he learns that like the truth that he puts out there, because they got to put out these little cassette tapes every day, which I think is a dumb rule, but whatever. They're being manipulated, and instead of showing Ben in a good positive light of being like, I'm winning the game, I'm doing this, I am the man, they're really painting the picture of him being this like global terrorist and mass murderer. And especially when he kills one of the hunters, he shows him off as like, this guy killed 8 of our best guys and left the family alone. Like, this family has no father figure or provider anymore, and like they really like play against that, and it's just driving Ben even crazier. That the lies and the manipulation that Dan Killian's putting out there about him is so false and stuff. It's kind of interesting, especially the way I think I'm telling you it. I might actually be embellishing it a little bit more because I could see the presentation being a little sloppy at points where the message doesn't come across as clear as how I'm saying it, and maybe not even as well as I'm saying it either. But you have to see the movie and see if I'm even correct. So some of the action sequences in this movie are well done. Now, they're not like John Wick style action sequences, okay? They're just, running away from bullets and like jumping over stuff, a little parkour and kind of thing, and like a little punch and a little like, just old school kind of action sequences. Nothing too crazy. But they were fine. They kind of helped just push the movie along. There's a couple driving sequences in this movie, which I think I put in the bad. And we'll get to that. But I would say in general, most of the action sequences are just your classic style of action, and they just kind of really push the story along. Um, the one scene, I think it's in the trailers, is where where he's in the hotel or the hostel. That sequence was pretty good. Just like good tension, good evading of the hunters and stuff like that. It was all around a pretty decent action set of sequences of events in there that I liked. And like, yeah, it just trugged along. And there's another action sequence too I also liked, even though it seems like a little out of the blue, but we'll get to that. That's in the silly. Anyways, I don't really have anything else to talk about here because I did go over the theme of the giant corporations controlling everything in the media and all that jazz. Controls the truth. So I also like the theme of this movie. I still think it could have done a little bit better with it, but I might have to rewatch it and be like, did they really get the message across of like, yo, the media controls everything, so like pay attention? Because at the end of the movie too, oh man, that was good. I should put that down. I did like the end of the movie where I won't tell you the actual end, but there's like the end, I think it was the ending speech from Ben where he's kind of like telling everybody in the world to like, yo, turn it off, turn off the slot machine, turn off the social media, turn off the YouTube, turn off the films, turn off all the rot, all the doom scroll, turn it all off. Stop giving these guys your time, your attention, and your money because the only reason why these guys are around and making any money is because you're giving them your time and your effort, like your time and stuff like that. And I thought it was a really good message at the end of the movie. um, yeah, I like that. I totally forgot to put that in here, but I like that message at the end. It's like turn off the brain rot, man. Stop contributing to it, and you'll set your mind free. And that kind of hit home for me a little bit because I have been dabbling with less social media and like less watching of YouTube videos. Yes, I make YouTube videos, but I also like in my mind, I'm like, I don't make these for money. I'm just doing this for fun. This is like an original YouTube channel when we made no money and we're just having fun talking to the boys about films. You know what I'm saying? So I totally get it. I've actually cut my YouTube watching down big time, so I get it, and it just that just really stuck with me for some strange reason. Anyways, let's get on to the bad. So the pacing of this movie is so how I like to say it. And then this happens, and then this happens, and now this happens. Oh, and conveniently, this happens, and then this happens. This is how this movie's paced out the entire time. It's just a series of then this, and at times you're kind of like you're on the roller coaster ride of like, okay, this is cool, but at the same time you're just like, all right, this is kind of paint by numbers ish, but yeah, I just wanted to point that out. That's kind of the type of movie we get here. Um, the Hunters. Now, this is where I was going to discuss the the Arnold movie a lot more. So the Hunters in this movie are not special. Now, the one hunter, Evan McCone, he's the guy who wears the mask the whole time with the sunglasses. Who's very oh, what's that GI Joe's name? Beachhead look. Yeah, very Snake Eyes, very Storm Shadow, very Beachhead. Is it Beachhead or Beachcomber? I can't remember his freaking name, but he wore the green thing. I can't remember balaclava. He really reminded me of a GI Joe character. Um, I like the way his look. He looked good, but again, not special. Not none of these guys are memorable. I think one of the hunters' name is Frank, and he's just a dude. Like he's just a dude. And in the Arnold movie, the hunters are special, man. And they are something. They're so unique. And I think that really makes the Arnold movie stand out. Because you got the light bright guy, you got the hockey guy. The hockey guy is so cool. You got Jesse the Body Ventura. Who else is in there? Man, there's just so many of them. The one guy, the black dude with the pyro. I think he had the fire. Like there's so many of them, right? And I think that's just special. And like the guy who's lit up with the Christmas tree, who like he's singing like opera songs, like the presentation of those hunters are special and memorable. And in this movie, they're not special. They're not memorable. They're just another guy. The only one that does kind of stand out is McCone. But at the end of the day, you're going to forget about him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, they just don't, I don't know. They just don't stick. They just don't. And it's kind of a missed opportunity, I think, where they could have stayed true to the source material that this movie's trying to do, which I don't even know if they do because I didn't read the book, but still have a nod back to Arnold's movie with special hunters and making them unique and really stand out and be cool. You know what I'm saying? And on that note, I should have added that in the silly, but I really did like the little subtle nod to Arnold himself because they have his face as like Governor Arnold on the dollar bills in this movie, and I really like that. That was just a nice little cameo. I enjoyed that. Totally forgot about it until right now. Um, there is more to Evan McCone's character at the end of the movie. There is a reveal, so to speak, to what this guy is all about and how it turns or how it plays out with the offer that Killian gives Ben. And it's pretty cool. Like, it's not cool. It's good though. I was like, yeah, that's cool. I like what we're doing here with this character and how these hunters are actually put into the game and where they come from, so to speak. I kind of like, but yeah, that was all right. But the thing that sucks about it, and this is what I have here, is one, the hunters, they are presented as an elite task force, but they are very stormtrooper-ish. You know what I'm saying? Like Star Wars stormtroopers, they can't hit nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I thought the whole time, like, I'm not dissing Lee Pace here as the actor who's playing this character, but I think they missed another opportunity here to really have like a big name actor play this character because you don't see this guy's face until like the last 10 maybe 20 minutes of this movie. And I think it would have been really cool as a reveal at the end of it being like, I don't know, a Brad Pitt, a Tom Cruise, someone like an established veteran actor that you would never expect that would do something like this that plays this character. And I think that would have went a long way. I was like just maybe a little more marketability and a little more, oh my God, did you see Brad Pitt's in this movie? He's the villain this whole time. Or like I think that would have been kind of cool. So missed opportunity really. Next thing here on the list is the driving sequences, the car chase sequences. They're okay, but they're not Baby Driver level. And I think we've been spoiled when it comes to Edgar Wright and his car chasing sequences because Baby Driver is top tier. Some of the best driving sequences you're ever going to see in your life. And it's kind of unfortunate that he does three car chase sequences in this movie, and none of them really stand out like Baby Driver sequences. So that is kind of in the bad sequence. If you're going to do three of them, they better be amazing, or just do one really freaking dope one and don't do anything else. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. It's not my movie. And the other thing that's bad is the music selection. Because again, Edgar Wright comes off with usually this dude picks some really good music for his movies. You know what I'm saying? And this one, I just felt like none of the music was really memorable, really stood out, and it just didn't really even add to the film. And I thought, wow, that's a kind of a miss for me. You know what I'm saying? And this just comes off of his body of work. So yeah, that's kind of where these bads come from. Is like I've watched like every single movie this guy's made, and he has certain traits that I expect to see in his movies when he makes them, and this kind of falls short. And you can also sit down and go with the dialogue a little bit too. Not the best dialogue going on between these characters, but that's also getting a little more nitpicky. And yeah, you can nitpick that one. And then I was thinking about the political commentary a little bit more because the haves and have-nots side of things is kind of interesting because they don't show a lot from the perspective of the rich or the wealthy until we get to this character here named Amelia Williams, who's played by Amelia Jones. And this isn't technically a bad, but I put it in the bad because this, like, it's just a weird spot for her to show up in the movie because she gets kidnapped by Ben, and she is also very indoctrinated into the TV corporation's truth, right? And she doesn't believe what's going on is actually happening to her, and the truth is like slowly being revealed to her. It's kind of interesting with this character, but it also feels kind of out of place at the same time, and it's weird. It's kind of weird. And I think I didn't know where to put it, but you have to watch the movie to understand what I'm saying because it just comes out of the blue. And as they're like doing these chase sequences and she's hanging out with Ben, and it's the last half of the movie, or yeah, about last 30, maybe 40 minutes of the movie, you're kind of just like, oh, okay, this is weird. I don't know. It's just what I was thinking. Anyways, let's get to the silly. And to start, we have Michael Cera playing a character named Elton. I think his last name's pronounced Pericus, but we go by Elton. And I like this character, and I thought he was funny, and I just thought it was a nice little cameo for Michael Cera. And the whole story about his family and his father with the hot dog stand and the house and the action sequence that happens here, it's all fun, it's all silly, and I just enjoyed it. Okay, I just was like, this is fun and silly. It's a little weird because of the grandma. Like, it's such a weird scene. It's so weird, but I wanted to also add into this that where this scene takes place is in the town of Derry. And I was kind of like, oh, because I'm watching it, Welcome to Derry right now. I'm on episode 4, just like I can't wait for episode 5. But I was like, oh, snap, this is in Derry. And I'm like, oh, snap, that's where Pennywise is. That's where it is. And so I was kind of sitting there, like, when you see how the grandma acts, I'm like, oh my God, is she possessed by it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was making me just think of like the layers of Stephen King in here. And I think Jake pointed out like the wallpaper was the same pattern as the carpet in The Shining. I think that's what he was pointing out to me. I can't remember, but I just liked all that whole sequence. I thought it was just fun and silly, and the action sequence in here is probably one of the better action sequences in the movie. Actually, yeah, I liked it. And then William H. Macy is in here as a character named Molly. Just a small little cameo with him, and I just wanted to point him out. I was like, yeah, that's cool. He's in this movie. And then this one is for all my Dexter fans because as soon as I saw Angel, so it's David Zayas who plays Angel from Dexter. In this, he plays Richard Manuel. And as soon as I saw him, I was like, "Oh, my boy Dex, my boy Angel, he's making it to the big screen." So I might be the only person in the movie theater that saw that. I was like, "Oh, snap, he's here!" But I appreciated it. I just wanted to shout it out to all my Dexter fans out there that Angel's in this movie for like 3 minutes, maybe even less, but he's in it for 3 minutes at the beginning of the movie, and I appreciated that. So that's it for me. Let's go to the conclusion, my friends. Should you watch this movie? Yes. Why not? Right? Cheap night for sure. Don't pay the full price. Don't worry about the IMAX. If you're going to go see it on the cheap night, see it in 1080p. There's nothing special here visually or audibly that you need to see top tier ticket price for this. You know what I'm saying? But if you have a curiosity and you feel like going to the movies with the boys or a date night, do it on the cheap night. You should be mildly entertained. I think I was overly entertained because of how much I loved uh, coming out of the Predator Badlands. So I might have been too hyped for this film. So I would say go at go at this level of hype, even keel. But if you don't want to see it in the theaters, I do think you should stream it on your own time. I think you'll have a good time streaming it on a sick day, a snow day, or a rain day. I don't think it will be a waste of your time watching it or streaming it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. Um, Next question is, will I add this to the movie collection? So honestly, thinking about it, I probably wouldn't, but I will probably get it into the collection because I do have almost all of his films in my collection right now. I think the only one I'm missing is the third one of the Cornello, whatever, the the bar hopping one. It's the only one I don't have in my collection right now. So I would probably buy it just to complete my collection of his films. And I hope he makes another movie. Like I hope he does something back go back to Baby Driver. Let him be free from the studio and just make something cool because I know he's got it in him. And I appreciate it when he has no shackles and he can just make what he wants. Because I feel like this movie when you watch it, it doesn't really feel like Edgar that much, and it almost makes me think he had some handcuffs and a lot of notes from production to really like, hey, this is a studio made movie, not an Edgar Wright movie. So I think you could tell that in the making of this film, and I kind of hope he gets to go back to making his own stuff. Because I think that's where he puts a lot of his tender love and care into it. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, that is it for me, my friends. Tell me in the comment section down below if you are interested in seeing this movie. Have you seen this movie? Tell me what you thought about this movie. Aside from that, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. As I said, it is Thursday. We got a couple more days left in this week before the weekend comes upon us. So don't work too hard. Be safe out there and enjoy whatever movie you're watching. Enjoy them and love them. I'm out. Peace out, everybody. Bye.